Sup, fam? I'm here to talk to you about language and why and there are so many different languages on the planetary sphere. Well, here it goes. A lot of people see life kind of backwards, literally backwards, and it's because the way that we've been taught to look at life is a bit backwards. So we figured that language is a response to people wanting to have their own unique thing. Well, this is true, but on a cosmic scale, we talking about levels of ability to interpret reality. And so you have a training wheel language like English, very training wheelish. It's very basic. It offers a very dualistic and finite way of viewing existence. And then you might go all the way to the Vedic, like where they got words like just the words for the chakras, like Svadhisthana. It has way more vibrational tone. It has way more power to it. You can tell through just when I'm speaking it. Like just that one word has more power than even this whole paragraphic phrasing that I'm speaking in English right now. And actually, when I first started meditating, literally right after I first started meditating, I went and started studying Arabic. So it's obvious that language has levels to it. So it basically, it's like you graduate out of a certain language into another language, and then that language makes you more powerful and operating within that state of awareness. Because also, when I was studying Arabic, I noticed that my focus was a lot more acute. It was far sharper. I would start to do things that I usually would not do. So speaking a different language does most definitely. So from English, people usually go to like Spanish or French, which is one step up Spanish, two steps up French. Spanish is very close to English and very easy to interpret and learn. If we're talking about Spanish from Spain, then that is a little different. As I've been informed that the Spanish that they speak for people who come literally from Spain is not actually the same as the Spanish that you might hear a Mexican speaking. So, and that's old Spanish that I'm talking about. Yeah, we met a lot of different formats of individuals, especially being in that Sedona area and even being in San Francisco. So the point that I'm making is that language has levels to it. I know I said that. And we should strive to move up in those levels. And I know it can be difficult because we're living in a reality that kind of conceals the pathway in order to get to your ability to learn that. So either it takes money that you don't have, or it takes time that you don't have, even though you have the money. And so you have to hack life in a way in order to go up in these levels. However, it's very beneficial for you. As I've said, I've already experienced quite a few benefits. And even I was learning like what might have been a phony kind of thing, because when I first awakened, I was in a state of all acceptingness. I wasn't fighting anything. Like I wasn't not fighting. However, you learn discernment through your awakening process, and I wasn't doing too much discernment. So, however, I was learning this Atlantean online, and although it may not have necessarily been authentic, it activated within me a state of beingness that was very ancient within the genetic structure, if not just my own state of soul beingness. And that allowed me to tap into states of awareness that I usually obviously lie dormant, because not very many active activities. Wow, active activities. Not very many activities on the physiological plane, as far as these structures that we exist in, megalithic, these cities are very attuned to the ancient traditions in a way which would be more obvious, and which would include those who have less of the funding to become a part of that as a representation of their own being. So aspire to learn different languages, not to make that your box of way of thinking. However, new language opens new doors, and especially if you're melanated like me, like if you got the darker melanin, because everybody has melanin. However, we have a darker shade of melanin. You want to learn some form of Arabic or Hebrew, Swahili. You want to. Amharic is supposedly the widespread tongue that everybody knows in that area region. But Swahili, Nigerian. You want to learn something that's African. Akabulanian. You want Akibulanian. I mean, you might have to actually get to the source of that to learn that properly. And it will be greatly beneficial for you. I've experienced quite a few transformations just from the little bit of Arabic that I was learning. And I do plan on going back into learning some more. However, I've also experienced other things that make me. Everybody has their own personal journey, and mine goes off and on with the language thing, but it goes on and on with the spiritual I'm just opening up my energy centers again once more to that state at which I was when I first began before I crossed myself down. And it's been a beautiful experience. We had a sage fire. This set a whole sage stick burned into it, 2 Palo Santo sticks, 2 moths went in the flame and rebirthed, and it's 2 of us. So I mean, you know how I go. Much love and happy ascension, fam.